Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Obrigado. Thank you, Martin. Now, I don't know about you guys. When I was about 15 or 16, I was mostly just trying to steal alcohol from my parents' cabinet, whereas Martin, on the other hand, was starting to put out these incredible tracks that have really kind of taken on a life of their own and become kind of supernova massive. And I really wanted to sort of start out by asking, when you were that age, early teenager, how did you kind of first start even thinking that you wanted to make music?
Well, for me, thanks by the way, everybody, for being here. I'm very excited. No, for me, for me, it all started. I started playing the guitar at a very young age. I grew up in a super musical family. And at one moment I started writing songs on the guitar, but then every time I had to present it to someone, I had to grab my guitar, play it, and then I did some research. I found a program that allowed me to put my ideas in the computer and choose different sounds, add kick drums, add percussion, add bass lines, and I know it started as a hobby, and it still is a hobby. And for me, the craziest thing, for example, just being here, it feels crazy to me, and everything that has happened the last 10 years since the moment I decided, I'm gonna make music because I like making music. It's been a roller coaster.
And why did you go down the sort of the dance music path as opposed to the kind of strumming a guitar kind of music path?
Well, for me, I make all different types of genres as music. If I feel like making a hip hop song, I make a hip hop song, and then I don't release it as Martin Garrix. But I feel like everybody in the music industry who loves music, you're not listening to one genre. I like to listen to, for every mood that I'm in, I have a different type of genre I listen to, and a different type of genre that I like to make. But for me, I got in touch with electronic music in 2004 because I heard Chesto at the Olympics, and just to me, the kick drum, the feeling it gave me, it got me all energetic, excited, hyped, and I was like, I want to do this, and I started buying all these vinyls. Compilation CDs, and I just started listening to it and having fun. I think you saw in the video, DJ Marty. It's
so adorable, right? How old were you in that film? You looked about 8 years old.
Yeah, no, I think I was like maybe 10.
Right.
And then I would DJ at the local wedding, get like 15 euros and keep it and invest it in like a new light or a new CD player or something.
You got a sick smoke machine, like it's
no,
always essential at a
I had
wedding.
like a scanner, like a cool light with like a mirror, and I saved up money for that, and I was so excited when I could finally buy it. And that was like DJing wise, but also production wise. I started with a simple setup. I feel like a lot of teenagers have right now, just 2 studio monitors and a computer. And I also have a MIDI keyboard and my guitar. And I just started having fun. And then piece by piece, bit by bit, I started, after the first check I got, I bought a better computer because it always got stuck when I was working on a song. And I don't know, I just started having fun.
And you went to an actual production school, that's right. And you sort of quit your technical studies and moved towards musical studies. What did that give you that you wouldn't have got it had you not gone there?
For me, I got signed to my first label at the age of 14. And I got in touch with that label because I was producing for other artists. I was like ghost producer.
How were you getting in touch with other artists when you were 14? Were these like...
I would just spam their emails. I would sneak into festivals with my USBs with music on it and give it to one of the artists, or just spam their emails. I was a lot on internet forums talking with other producers, and I don't know, then some people reached out to me. I did one song that got signed on Spinnin Records, and they were like, we heard this kid is 14, and they didn't believe that was real, so they invited me at the office. Then they wanted to see me work because they didn't believe I made my own stuff. And then we started to work. And then to get back about the school, while I was signed, I was still doing the technical study. And I tried to combine it in the first 2-3 years. But I had a friend who was going to the production academy. And while I was doing like science or like homework, he was like, man, I have to make a song for homework for this school. This school is amazing. and I had 1 year left in the technical school. But then I just went to my parents. I was like, hey, I really love music so much. It makes me happy. I wake up with music. During the day I listen to music. I fall asleep with music, and I really feel I can follow this path. And first my parents were like a little bit in shock, but then after 2 days they were like, you know what? If you're happy, we're happy. And I feel like that moment my parents were really, their support, without their support I wouldn't have not been here, because I'm very thankful and very blessed to have their support. And then I switched to the production school, and then in the first year of that school I did a song called Animals, and that was for me the song that literally switched my life, going from a bedroom producer to, as you saw in the video, to like the bigger main stages. And it all feels surreal because it all happened super quick.
But do you think that you can actually, people out here who may be tinkering in their bedrooms, can you kind of do it all from your bedroom these days? The technology is there effectively to make an Animals.
I feel like you can get all the technology you want, you can get all the plugins you want, but in the end it's about the songs, it's about the ideas, it's about if you're passionate about something, not only music, if you're passionate about something, I feel like if you put enough time in it, if you work hard enough, you gain more experience, you get better and better. And to all the upcoming producers and DJs out there who are like, oh, I have limited production software, etc. There's not that much you need. I made Animals in my bedroom, and I did the mastering and mixing myself. So there's a lot possible from just your computer.
How did you, on a practical level, learn those skills of mastering, mixing? I think quite a lot of people are able to cobble together a track on Logic or Ableton or Fruity Loops, but then to kind of make it really kick. How did you learn that craft?
I watched a shitload of tutorials. No, and I think also when you collaborate with someone, I worked a lot with other artists. They teach you new tricks, you teach them new tricks, and also just spending time in the studio, experimenting with new sounds, trying out new things, making mistakes, because making mistakes is a big part of growing. I feel like from every mistake that I made in the studio, I was like, I pressed the wrong button, I'm like, yo, this sounds cool, and the next time I want to make a sound like that, I know how to make the sound. So, yeah. I just love it.
Yeah, and you came up during a time when the sort of dubstep, bassy sound was quite dominant, and then we've sort of seen how a kind of tropical house sound has sort of moved in to become more popular. You haven't ever really chased those fashions. How do you kind of resist the popular thing right now and kind of stay true to your own vision? And what is that vision?
Because I'm Martin. I'm not gonna make music like when I'm in the studio. It's my happy place. I literally sit there, and I'm like, yo, what I'm gonna make today, and I make whatever I feel like making. I'm not gonna. If you think too much about what you're gonna make, it takes away from the creative process. If I think too much, like, oh, people want to hear this. This is big right now. I will have a shit day in the studio. I literally go in the studio, blank canvas, do whatever I feel like, and those are the most successful days for me in the studio.
What does that process look like when you, as you say, have a blank canvas? How do you start to build a track?
Well, the fun thing about making music is there are no rules. It's not like a step process. Sometimes I grab a guitar, I just start jamming, or sometimes I go listen to cool sounds. I'm like, yo, this is a crazy sound. What if I do this melody with it? Sometimes I just grab a MIDI keyboard, like a piano sound, I make a chord progression, and then afterwards I'll find the right sound to match it. Yeah, I like that there are no rules. You can just do whatever you feel like.
And something that I think that no matter how much tinkering you do in your bedroom or how many lessons you have at a production school, that you can't learn in those scenarios is obviously playing out to a crowd, working a crowd. How did you, I mean, we saw you absolutely destroying the wedding disco crowd there. But how did you work out how to sort of build up and manipulate an audience live?
I think it's all about just from experience. I've been like, I'm not gonna call it doing shows because it was at weddings, but I started when I was like 9 or 10, and then when I was 15, 14, I got signed, and then the booking started, and then I started full on touring when I was 16. and I'm 21 now, so I've just been touring like a crazy person for the last 5 years, making music, and from everything, from every show, from every setting, you learn, you get more experience.
What have some of the most valuable things that you've picked up along the way been in terms of maturing you as an artist in those experiences?
Well, for me, I started like just doing the shows by myself, and then I started. This is like more technical. Then I started expanding my team. I started a tour manager, then who made sure I got out of my bed in time, who made sure I catch my flight because we had some issues with that sometimes. And then I started having a visual guy who did like the visuals on the screens, a lighting guy, a production manager, stage manager, security, and then piece by piece the whole crew. Only on Martin Garrix touring part is like sometimes we do shows where there's 20 people of crew, and yeah, that's really crazy. And they're all super experienced. They all give me advice. And we like every show we have a camera at the front of house to film the show, and afterwards we go analyze it. We make notes. We're like, yo, this part was tight. That part could be better, and we just have fun. I feel like the whole vibe in Team Garrix is good vibes. It doesn't feel like we're working. We're having fun. We get to make people happy. We get to see people smile. And to me, that's no work. That's a blessing. It's a hobby.
I mean, we saw in that montage, you know, you're hopping on private jets and the CO2 cannons going off in an arena. It's the kind of teenage life that many teenagers kind of dream of. Are there things that you feel like you miss out on because you've been on the road for hundreds of days a year?
Well, sometimes I miss, like, I have a sister. Sometimes I miss her a lot, and my parents, of course. But that was in the beginning part. Now, because the fees are getting higher, the shows are getting bigger. I can bring people with me on the road. I have a childhood friend of mine. He's here now. I always have people close to me, around me, no matter where I am. Everywhere I go, I love being surrounded with people who know me before all the crazy shit.
Something that I think is really interesting is how, you know, you mentioned Spinnin Records, who you put out some of your early work on, and then you actually ended up sort of going through a lawsuit to sort of extricate yourself from that label, and you created your own label.
Yeah.
What did that whole process teach you?
Well, I love the entire team at Spinnin Records, but for me there was a moment where it just felt wrong. That the moment I created something in my studio, they take it. It's theirs immediately. It doesn't even have to be finished yet. It's like you have a baby and you're proud of it, and someone comes, haha, that's mine. And lots of other stuff. I don't want to get into that too much, but long story short, I ended up like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it myself. And it's going super well now. I did my first, like all the singles I did last year were on the new label. I just took over a studio building in Amsterdam, which we're renovating. It's one of the most iconic studios in Amsterdam. And they reached out to me. They were like, yo, hey, we're gonna close the studio down. We're gonna sell the equipment. Are you interested in some of the equipment? I was like, yo, why are you guys closing down the studio? Because I remember first time I entered the studio, I was like, wow, look at all this hardware. Look at, like, it was a dream. And then I heard they were gonna sell, and I was like, no, not gonna do that. So I heard they were gonna close it. I took over the studio building. With the crew that's still in there. We're renovating all the studios for stamped recordings for my label, and I want to use it as a platform for new talent, new artists to have a creative environment, and most importantly, just to make cool music and share that with the world.
Yeah, I mean, because this is, I think, what is so interesting about the moment we find ourselves in the music industry is that increasingly you can just go it alone. You don't need a major label to support you. You can kind of do everything yourself. Are you surprised that more artists don't do what you've done and take control of every aspect, from the, you know, the marketing to the production to the all these different kind of parts that traditionally another company has done?
Well, for me, I just took everything under my own company. I have amazing people who do my marketing, but right now there's, I think, about 60 people working just for Martin Garrix, and that's on the booking side, management side, security, touring side, everything. And yeah, I like my label. I signed the big singles out to Sony, so I still have a major helping me, supporting me, pushing the songs to like the bigger audience, but no, for me, doing everything in house, you're able to move so much quicker, and I don't know. I love the team. I surround myself with people who inspire me, people who I look up to, people who want to make me work harder, who don't want me to fall. Like I don't want to fall asleep because I wanna work. I wanna tour the world with them. I wanna make music. I wanna have fun and see people smile. And to me, getting to share those experiences, creating a team of people around me who I look up to, who inspire me, and that, yeah, it's amazing.
And how do you kind of find new artists? I mean, we've heard a lot of stories from A&Rs in the past about who now, you know, they don't go down to a pub or a bar to try and find the next big thing. They'll trawl through SoundCloud, they'll trawl online. What are the methods that you use to try and find the most exciting new people?
It's everywhere. Sometimes word, like if someone says, yo, this artist is sick, for me, how I did it a lot, I just put on Spotify random or discover new music, and when there's a song I like, I put it in my playlist, and I ended up with a playlist with sick music, and then I reached out to those guys like, hey, I have my label, you want to release music here? And we sign people just with one-off tracks. We don't need the whole headache deal, like, yo, we need this amount of songs for the next 4 years, because I know as an artist, that's not, you feel a little bit trapped, and I just want an artist, I want to have a platform for artists to just feel good about their music. I don't want to screw them with money and stuff. I don't need to make money. Like, touring-wise, my own music is going great. I just want to have a platform for new, young, upcoming talent. Sometimes old people, I don't care. If it's good, it's good. And also with the label, I don't only want to do electronic music. I want to do all different types of genres. We've been releasing one song every week now for the last month, and one song was a hip-hop song. I like diversity.
Yeah, because that way of releasing music feels like increasingly the way it's done. We're less sort of focused on a big album drop project and more now trickling music out. I mean, you have hundreds of songs that are in your kind of vault. Do you plan to release an album in a traditional way, or is that kind of over as a format?
I can release 3 albums right now with the amount of unreleased music I have, but I don't know. I'd rather cherry pick and pick all the best ideas and release those as singles, because last year I released 7 songs in 7 days, and I was really proud of all 7 songs, but then the attention went to only 3 of those 7 songs. And
is that hard when certain things don't break through in the way you thought they would?
It's fun. It's interesting, because there were songs that I was like, yo, this is gonna be a hit. I feel so good about this song. I can't wait till the world hears this. This will definitely crush the charts. And then it ended up not being big. And Animals was a song which it was #1 in UK. For me, that was the song that really lifted up everything. And I already had that song 2 years on my computer, the main melody and the breakdown, because I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah. And then I listened to it back again one day, and I was in bed at night, and the melody was stuck in my head, and I was like, yo, maybe I should do something with it. So you never know. As soon as you release a song, it's a whole new life. And I don't know, I like it.
And just briefly, you're still so young. What do you see your career looking like in even by the time you're 30 years old? Do you have a sense of where you want to go next? Well,
of course, as Martin Garrix, producer, DJ, I wanna always keep the shows going on like next level. I want to release music that represents me, music that makes people happy, and on the side, I want to build Stamped Records as like just as I said, the platform for new artists, new talent into the world. And most importantly, just having fun, bringing my family and my friends with me on tour, and enjoying every second. Because there's so much crazy shit happening. And for me, there's no better feeling than being able to share it with the people I love and care about.
It's beautiful. Thank you so much, Martin. Martin Garrix, everyone.